As the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation approaches on Monday, disability and injury lawyer Nainesh Kotak joins us with more on the disproportionately higher rate of disability among Indigenous people. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, when we say disproportionately higher, what do we mean?
We're talking at least 1 in 3 Indigenous peoples have some form of disability, often mental health. So when I talk about Indigenous people, I'm talking about First Nation, Inuit, and Métis. One of the principal causes of this increase in disability rate is what's known as intergenerational trauma. So when a child undergoes trauma, whether it's separation from parents or they see abuse or they see substance abuse, it affects the development of the brain, and this continues into adulthood, and studies show that in fact it goes on to the next generation and past that. So that's one of the major causes of this. There also is the lack of treatment that Indigenous peoples will undergo if they have disabilities such as mental health related issues. There's a number of reasons for this. First and foremost, it is structural. Geography. Many are living in remote areas up north where we know there's a lack of healthcare providers. The next one is, in fact, really at the stigma. Many people, consider mental health issues, they don't want to talk about it, won't get treatment, but it's even more so among the Indigenous population. And also there's, I think, a mistrust in the medical system. Historically, they've not been treated very well by our healthcare system. And I think that is one of the factors where there is a lack of treatment or the unwillingness to get treatment, and probably a combination of the two, which makes things obviously a lot worse for our Indigenous population.
How does a doctor help going about getting this disability claim? How do we take down some of those barriers? Right.
So, our office represents people who have been denied long-term or short-term disability claims, and one of the things that doctor will do is complete what's called a physician statement. And with the Indigenous population, I think it's important for the physician to make notes of the intergenerational trauma that the person may have been through, and explain the lack of treatment as to the reasons why. I'll give you an example. So we represent clients throughout the country, more so in Ontario and Alberta. We recently this summer had, she was Inuit, so Indigenous, but Inuit. Had a great job, but was suffering through mental health related issues and addiction related issues. So the insurance company, who will be nameless, they denied the claim based on you're not getting the right treatment. Okay, and it was a significant benefit because she actually had a really good job. So sort of the same talk I'm doing today here, I did with them. We sat down with them and explained that, look, you guys should know this. The reason for lack of treatment, this is it. Look at the conflicts with the doctors that she's had. Look at the fear she's got. And in the end, they understood what she was going through and why there was not the type of treatment that you would expect to see. And they ended up paying quite handsomely to compensate for the denial of the claim.
Amazing. Why is it so important to think about truth and reconciliation when we are talking about disability claims?
Right. Well, look, residential schools, for example, is one example, and this sort of brought about, our truth and reconciliation process in our day. Well, that's just an example of where, children were taken away from their homes, put in a very abusive situation, taken away from their Indigenous culture, and that has led to generational trauma and led to disability. So I think it's important to reflect on the truth and reconciliation time period, not just the one day, but as a whole, to understand the trauma that our Indigenous population has been through historically, and the difficulties they have accessing treatment and getting treatment when they are in fact disabled.
And we just have a few seconds left. Where can people find your information?
Right, for sure. Look, you can find us kotaklaw.com to look at our reviews, fantastic reviews, I believe. Of course, I'm biased when I say that, but free consultation, and we work on a contingency basis, so very happy to speak with new clients and to help those who have been denied disability claims.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on Morning Live. We appreciate it, and we'll get all your information up on our website. We'll have more Morning Live for you coming up right after this.
It's an